The Royal Barber-Surgeon, at your service.
Behind the pomp and circumstance of palaces lies a hidden history. A world where the royal family's well-being was entrusted to an unusual cast of characters. These aren't the kings and queens you read about, but the unseen figures who battled filth, disease, and even boredom to keep the monarchy alive. We're counting down the most surprising and essential secret jobs that truly kept the crown on the king or queen's head. Starting off our list at number 9, the Royal Guard, our monarch's silent sentinels. Medieval England, 1300s, King Edward III. In the ever-watchful shadows of palaces and castles, the Royal Guard stood as steadfast protectors. Their duty was more than a job. It was a solemn commitment to safeguard the very heart of the monarchy. Clad in solemn uniforms, each guard embodied centuries of honor and tradition, maintaining a vigilant presence that commanded respect and marked stability. But a guard's job was often a matter of life and death. In 1327, King Edward III was a teenager when he was imprisoned by his mother, Queen Isabella, who had seized power. The young king was held captive in the palace, his life controlled by guards loyal to his mother. However, a small band of loyal knights infiltrated the castle, and with the help of a sympathetic guard, they freed the king, allowing him to take back his throne. This remarkable bond between the monarchy and its protectors not only safeguarded royal lineage, but also showcased the silent power held by those on watch. Their existence casts light on the paradox of royal life. While kings and queens ruled, it was the guards protecting their lives that solidified their reign. Coming in at number 8, the Squire, a warrior in waiting. Medieval England, 1300s, King Edward III. In the heart of medieval battlefields, another layer of life supported the knights, the squires. These young men, aspiring warriors, didn't just dream of glory. They spent their days laboring over heavy armor, ensuring their knight's life was safeguarded. The task was grueling, often involving a mix of sand and urine, a surprising but effective cleaning solution. Imagine the battlefield in the 100 Years' War, with knights under King Edward III charging into battle. The clatter of swords and the roar of cannons filled the air. A knight squire, standing just behind him, was his lifeline. If the knight's sword broke, the squire had a spare. If his lance splintered, the squire had another. But his most crucial duty was to retrieve his fallen master. A squire's heroism wasn't in winning, but in ensuring his knight survived. Their efforts illustrated a crucial truth of the age. The greatest battles were fought not just in the open fields, but in the relentless toil of those in the background. At number 7, we have the Royal Barber-Surgeon, Craftsman of Care. France, 1700s, King Louis XIV. Inside the royal chambers, the barber wielded more than just scissors and razors. This figure, often overlooked, played a critical role in the health and appearance of the royals. They were not merely tidying hair. King Louis XIV's life was literally in the hands of his royal barber-surgeon, Charles-François Félix. For years, the king suffered from a painful anal fistula. The condition was so severe that Félix was ordered to practice the risky surgery on dozens of peasants before operating on the king himself. In 1686, with the entire court holding its breath, Félix successfully performed the operation, earning him a fortune and a reputation that would last centuries. In an age where cleanliness was a luxury, their tools doubled as instruments of health. Their true power was in shaping perception. The royal barber may have had a seemingly simple role, yet in a world where the line between life and death was fine, his job carried great weight. At number 6, the Royal Ratcatcher, a Victorian necessity. London, 1850s, Queen Victoria. In the squalor of Victorian London, a hidden danger lurked. Rats swarmed the streets, carrying disease and death. For the royals, one man stood as a buffer against this threat, the Royal Ratcatcher. He wasn't just any pest controller. He was a skilled tradesman, elevated to royal service. One of the most famous ratcatchers of the era was Jack Black, a self-proclaimed royal ratcatcher who had his own reputation to uphold. Black was a larger-than-life character, known for his unique outfits and his flair for the dramatic. He would proudly wear a belt made of dead rats to signal his success. His expertise wasn't just in traps and poisons. He educated the public on hygiene and sanitation, showing them how to block rat burrows and prevent infestations. His methods were so renowned that he was often called upon by the royal household. This strange alliance highlights a world where survival depended on those who remained in the shadows. Who knew a rat catcher could be a pillar of royal safety? At number 5 is the Royal Apothecary, the Queen's Chemist. London, 1600s, Queen Elizabeth I. Within the opulent chambers of royalty, another figure wielded a different kind of power, the apothecary. More than a simple druggist, they served as health advisors to the royal family. Their knowledge, steeped in centuries of herbal lore, was a crucial defense against diseases like smallpox. Queen Elizabeth I, known for her strong will, was not immune to illness. In 1562, she fell gravely ill with what was feared to be smallpox. Her trusted apothecary, Hugh Morgan, was a vital part of her care. He prescribed potions and elixirs made from local herbs to ease her fever and discomfort. As a loyal confidant, he would carefully concoct these remedies himself, ensuring no one could poison the Queen. Royalty relied on their expertise, not just for physical ailments, but also to maintain their robust images. In a world of uncertainty, the apothecary was the silent orchestrator of health behind the royal curtains. At number 4, we have the Royal Falconer, a living weapon. Tudor England, 1500s, Queen Elizabeth I. While we might imagine falconry was a simple pastime for the elite, the Royal Falconer held a position of strategic importance. Falcons and other birds of prey were living symbols of immense wealth and power, often used as diplomatic gifts. Queen Elizabeth I was a passionate falconer herself, a fact that was not lost on her court. During one of her famous progresses through the countryside, she was presented with a magnificent white falcon. She immediately took it for a hunt, a grand display of her skill and control. As the falcon soared and struck its prey with deadly precision, it wasn't just a successful hunt. The bird's power was a direct reflection of the Queen's own power. Her falconer was more than a trainer. He was a keeper of this living weapon, ensuring that his birds were a flawless showcase of the monarch's strength and discipline. At its core, the Royal Falconer was a keeper of the crown's most beautiful and most lethal secret weapons. At number 3, the Royal Astronomer, the King's Cosmic Advisor. Stuart, England, 1675, King Charles II. This role may seem purely scientific today, but in the early modern era, the Royal Astronomer was more than a stargazer. They were often tasked with advising the monarch on matters of state by using astrology, a practice widely accepted at the time. Their predictions could influence everything from the timing of a military campaign to the day a royal wedding would be held. royal astronomer was a keeper of cosmic secrets, providing a sense of divine order and legitimacy to the crown. Charles II appointed the first official royal astronomer, John Flamsteed, to create a star chart that would help navigation, but also to provide mystical advice. The position was the ultimate blend of science and superstition, offering a cosmic perspective that no one else in the court could provide. At number 2 is the court jester, the King's Shield. Tudor England, 1500s. King Henry VIII. At the heart of royal courts, amidst the high-stakes politics and power plays, one figure wielded laughter like a sword, the jester. Clad in bright colors and exaggerated attire, this entertainer had a crucial role. Though often dismissed as a mere fool, the jester ventured far beyond shallow humor. His wit protected the royals. King Henry VIII's beloved jester, Will Sommers, was famously the only man who could speak the truth to the king without fear of execution. His sharp wit and playful antics often disarmed Henry's tyrannical rage. On one occasion, a man was sent to the Tower of London for a petty crime, and no one dared to plead on his behalf. Will Sommers, however, mocked the entire situation so skillfully that Henry, in his amusement, pardoned the man. The jester offered a light touch amidst heavy decisions, but his role bore risks. A misstep meant danger. He was a precarious balancing act, blending humor with the weight of responsibility. And our most bizarre job, coming in at number 1, the groom of the stool. Tudor England, 1500s, King Henry VIII. This job sounds like a punchline, but it was one of the most powerful and trusted positions in the Tudor court. The groom of the stool was responsible for assisting the king with his personal hygiene, specifically during defecation. But the title was just a cover. This intimate access meant they were also the monarch's closest confidant. Sir Henry Norris was one of King Henry VIII's most famous grooms. He had unrivaled access to the king's private life and was often privy to state secrets and political intrigue. Henry trusted Norris completely, and the groom's duties included handling royal finances, managing appointments, and even acting as a bodyguard. This position was a symbol of the king's ultimate trust, a badge of honor given to a select few. The most bizarre job in history was also the most powerful, proving that in royal courts, a person's proximity to power mattered more than their title. As we've seen, behind the opulence and power of royal courts was a hidden network of unseen essential workers. These figures, from the ratcatcher to the groom of the stool, were the vital and often bizarre cogs in a machine that kept the monarchy alive. Their stories remind us that power is built not on glamour alone, but on a foundation of dedication and humble, often dirty work. While these roles may be relics of the past, the principle remains today. Our modern society, too, relies on a vast unseen network of essential workers. From the sanitation crews who keep our cities clean, to the infrastructure, technicians who maintain the power grid, and the wastewater treatment operators who keep our water safe. These are the modern-day keepers of our kingdom. They are the unsung heroes whose unglamorous work ensures our world continues to function. Perhaps the most important secret of all is that our complex, modern world, just like the old kingdoms, is built on the unseen labor of those in the shadows. This is Long History Short, your shortcut to the whole story. We want to continue to bring stories that are worth the listen and help not only educate, but entertain a bit too. If you have any suggestions for stories you'd like to hear, we would love to know. Leave a comment, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe.